This is the Crimson Recap on the SVI Sports Network. Focus on Star Valley High School sports, scores, and highlights from the previous week. The Crimson Recap is presented by First Bank of Wyoming, your home for totally free checking, with local branches in Afton and Alpine, and online at gofirstbank.com. And now, here's your host of the Crimson Recap, Jake Hibbard.
And welcome back into the Crimson Recap. We roll into the month of May, which of course means the sports season for 2024 is quickly coming to a close. As the regular season in track and field and soccer both concluded this weekend, we have some highlights to show you on both sides, whether it was Valerie Urach performing very well out in Utah or an exciting finish to the soccer season on the boys' side. We start today by taking a look at that final weekend of soccer, as Star Valley was off to Jackson on Thursday. First up were the girls taking on the top team on the western side, Jackson, which finished the regular season 11-1 with 2 ties and an 11-0 victory over their rival school, Star Valley. On the boys' side, Star Valley wasn't able to fare much better as they fell 6-0. After Thursday's losses to Jackson, it was one final trip on the road for the season for Star Valley soccer, and it took them to Riverton. After the girls fell by a final of 6-0, it was the boys' turn to try to see what they could do against Riverton. Riverton had a lot of ball control early on as there was no scoring in the first half, but got something going as they shot through the back end of the defense with 29 minutes left in the second half and took a 1-0 lead on that goal right there. Star Valley, after going scoreless in the first half as well, was able to respond just about 7 minutes later on a patented Braves counter cross and a little chip into distance. Nice chip going there, a little header, and in the play, well, the guy who chipped it gets it right back, and a shot on goal after a little bit of defense finally goes in, and Star Valley able to even it up with 22 and a half minutes to go. Now here's where things got really interesting as we head into the final minute of play. Sure, you can end soccer with a tie, especially this year with no overtime, but you really want that win. That's what Riverton was thinking as they sliced and diced right through into their attacking third. Got a great shot on goal, but a diving save made by A.J. Hale. Hale's given up is the third most shots on goal in the Western Conference this season, but leads the conference with 98 saves. That was number 98 right there, and it sets Star Valley up with one final chance. Are you kidding me? Christoph Bueller out in the left side in space. He's found, and he goes and hits the back left corner of the net. Star Valley takes a 2-1 lead with 19 seconds left in the regular season. Riverton has one more chance, and they took a big long shot. A.J. Hale out there, bobbles it a bit, but is able to pick it up. 7 seconds to go. He knows what to do. Stall a little bit, boot it away, and clock expires. Star Valley, an exciting way to close out the regular season on the road, as you see A.J. Hale getting a congratulations by his defender out there on that amazing save that led to the go-ahead Star Valley goal. As we mentioned, that finishes the regular season off for Star Valley on the boys' side with a 2-1 victory over Riverton, and that puts them to 5-8-1 at the end of the regular season. As we mentioned, the girls fell to Riverton 6-0 as Riverton goes 7-3-2 on the year. Star Valley falls to 2-10-2. And that sets us up for this week's regional girls and boys soccer tournament. These games will be happening at Star Valley or Jackson. Taking a look at where Star Valley's girls fit, they'll be playing at 2 o'clock this Thursday at Star Valley High School as the number 6 seed taking on again number 3 Riverton, which they just played on Saturday. As for the boys, Star Valley was able to jump their way up into a top 4 seed, so they play at noon on Thursday at Star Valley High School against number 5 Natrona County. We had a really exciting game going back last week with Star Valley and the Mustangs. Looking for a repeat of that victory, I know, which would get them into the state tournament to take on Jackson, which is the number 1 team and already received a bye into state. An exciting finish to the regular soccer season has us hoping for a couple of regional bids into the state tournament. And again, if you're in the Star Valley region, you have an opportunity to catch all of these games this weekend as they will be played in Afton. As for track and field, 2 final meets to close out the regular season for Star Valley's programs. We had a few runners heading off to BYU in Utah to compete at a very high-level meet, and we had everyone else not too far from home over in Jackson. We'll start off with the results of the Lynn Williams Invitational happening in Jackson. As we start off on the girls' side, Katie Nichols was able to take first place in the 100-meter dash. As for Vale Foreman, she finished second in the 200-meter. The 400-meter on the girls' side had Cameron Mackey taking a first-place finish. In the 1 mile, Carly Engel took second. Peyton Hawkinson was the second-place finisher in the 300 hurdles at the Lynn Williams Invite. And then as for Madison White, she took second in the triple jump and first in the high jump. In the shot put, Abigail Carrillo-Zarate was the first-place finisher at the Lynn Williams Invitational. On the boys' side, Smith McClure took second and Preston Ross was third in the 100-meter dash in Jackson. Bryson Neild was the top finisher in the 200-meter, followed by Smith McClure close behind in third place overall. Lane Hunting took the top spot by way of a tie in the 400-meter dash, 58.73 seconds on the nose for both of those first-place finishers. Seth Larson right behind in third place in the 400. Brigham Hahn took second place in the 1 mile. In the 110 hurdles, Crew Morgan took first, and he also took first in the 300-meter hurdles. High jump had Cale Klinger in second, and Klinger also took first place in the long jump and the triple jump. Now moving on to BYU, where Valerie Urach was yet again a standout on the road. Urach finished first place in the long jump at just over 19.25 feet. And then she took second place in the 400-meter, third place in the 100-meter, and sixth place in the 200-meter dash. As for Hobby Wetzel, he was able to finish in the top 15 in the 2-mile race at 11th overall. After coming away with a couple successful placings all the way around at both BYU and Jackson, Star Valley's track and field team now gets ready to head over to regionals in Rock Springs this weekend. And with that, let's take a look at what is to come in sports for Star Valley this week. On Thursday, May 9th, as we mentioned, boys soccer will be first up at home against Natrona at 12 o'clock for the first round of the regional tournament. You get a win and you're into state. Same thing for the girls as they take on Riverton immediately following the completion of that boys game at 2 o'clock at Star Valley High School. On Friday, we're hoping we have a couple of more regional soccer matchups for the Star Valley programs as the boys and girls tournament rolls on in Star Valley on Friday and then concludes on Saturday. Track and field regionals at Rock Springs gets kicked off on Friday and will conclude on Saturday. And well, that's pretty much it. We're getting ready for championship season and looking for a few champions to arise from our region. That's it for me. I'll see you back next week with a check-in on how regionals went.